that CC regardless. It's whether or not the Loki and the Morrigan are able to utilize that space creation.
Well, look, this is a big game for the Leviathans. They are 2-0 right now. If they win this one, they are tied atop the standings at 3-0 with the Olympus Bolts. And the Oni Warriors, all things considered, have had a pretty decent start to their phase here so far in Season 8. They are 1-1 in the standings. If the Oni Warriors are able to get the win over the Leviathans, it would be massive in the momentum department. Game number 1, Leviathans and Oni Warriors, starts right now.
Thanks so much, Dave and Mifflin on the desk. Joining me for the cast today is going to be none other than Gormizer, and of course, the best cameraman Smite has ever
Apollo's
seen.
not necessarily, well, depending on the meta, he's known for the crit and not for the crit. And so we'll have to see what Vote decides to do with it. But having the setup that Neil's going to bring, I think this is going to be a pretty fun duo lane for the Warriors.
Speaking of Neil a bit more as well, did start off this time around looking towards maybe a Lotus Crown here, I would say, or the Tyrannical Plate Helm. I'm pretty sure it's going to be the Lotus Crown, I will say, in this build. And I do like this item, the 20-year-old process. Darda's in mid lane, under pressure from Panitom and Shinto. Just too far forward. The desk did mention what can the mid lane do in the early game for the Morrigan, and that's exactly what we saw Leviathans do there. Try and keep the pressure rolling onto Dardes during these early stages.
And that's the kind of pressure that I think you need to apply. And now it's Yarkor who's in a little bit of trouble. Looks like he should be just fine out of there. In fact, they might try to turn it around on Vote. But the pressure that Shinto, first off, on one of his signature picks here
the
in
Lotus
the
Crown is online. I think it's very underrated at the moment for what it brings you, because as a support player, you're going to get the sustain that you need in terms of regeneration from your starter item, and the MP5 from this is great too. But more importantly, 60 physical procs, but then add on the additional 20 you'll get from whenever you heal yourself, and your teammates too are going to get that. That's better than Gauntlet of Thebes in terms of the aura that it's giving you when it's applied.
It's one of those items that I personally pick up every time a Vote just trying to get out, and you're not going to be able to get away with his life. And that's a good pickup for the Leviathans. Yeah,
good little pinch on this side. You can see the ward coverage too go. I mean, they didn't really have too much vision of what was going on there, but a lot of the early game has come through Neilmar's aggression. And then as the game goes on, it continues. And talking about the aggression now, the purple buff invade is attempted, but Neilmar is under a lot of pressure because of Rongyu and Jarkor. Apollo already left the fray, and the rest of the team can't be here, so they've just left Neil all alone, who will end up falling down here. And that's just another casualty into the bank of Leviathan's coffers.
And we got to see a little bit, like the duality of Terra, right? When your heal goes through and that Lotus Crown procs, which it's one of my favorite items on healers for all the reasons you had highlighted earlier. It's great because you get all those extra protections, but half the time you're going to be getting aggressive. You're looking for the root. That's how Neil started that, and he doesn't get those procs online. And so, yeah, base 60 is still going to be good, but maybe not good enough. They're actually starting to
crush it on Vote, who's out of position again on his own, tries to rotate into the Fury, but all there alone, another kill for Leviathans, and it didn't only cost Shinto's ultimate. Now Leviathans grouping around this Fury again, looking for more picks, keeping this late game squad of what he is at bay, as Dardes dies trying to transform. Neilmar back in the action, Cuvo looking on, looking for a target. The focus is on Panitom. Panitom takes a bit of damage as Cuvo lands that ult, but no mana left over. Neil still giving chase here. I don't really know what he's looking for. I don't think the chase was on for Panitom. 5 kills now.
Yeah, and anything like with Sunder already online, something like a Cursed Donk on top of it, the idea is just, can we stop you from existing? Can we kill you fast?
Talking about not existing, Neilmar still getting pressured again. The walls bought him time, but Rongyu's already there to wrap around. The rest of the team, 2 members in base there, and meanwhile the other member on the right-hand side of the map. This is a surrendered Gold Fury then in favor of the Leviathans, as nobody's going to be here from the Warriors to stop it.
There are plenty of ways to bounce back from this, but a lot of them involve...
because he only did... well, about 10% of his health bar. The Fury, meanwhile, way below 10%. Cuvo coming in, looking to try and cause a problem. We'll throw out the decoys. Now, Dardas transforms into Cthulhu and charges on in. Neilmar's there too, but the Cursed Donks are in play for both teams. Panitom gets the Aegis off to stay alive as the Apollo ducks to the back. Shinto under a lot of pressure from Vote, but Shinto's Aegis buys him some time for his team to come on in. The stunk from Rongyu was huge at the tail end. Shinto is still alive in this engagement, and he will survive. Nika could be a completely different story. 3 members here of the Warriors dead. Make it 4 right now.
I'm speechless. There's no way, at the minimum, you're supposed to lose Shinto there. Like, I cannot understate how difficult a team fight to win that was for the Leviathans. When 2 Cthulhus are zoning that much, you should not be able to do that. And Hardcore's 5-0-2, he gets all those kills, but Shinto's jukes were absolutely insane.
And Darda's just trying to cause a problem there. Maybe look for a steal to turn something around here. Can't do it. Another kill for Leviathans. Gives the whole squad Fire Giant buff this time round. And going back to that engagement, some of that will come into Shinto's build too.
The interesting part, like the net worth is so outrageous at this point. Full tier 3 and then some. I mean,
Oh,
Leviathans,
gosh.
if they win a fight here, there's still 3 towers standing, but if they win 2 kills, they're going to be able to push the Titans.
Well, the Titans very low. Fighting's very low already. Neil Mod jumps to the back, trying to slow him down. Good route off on 4 targets, but no one there really there to follow up. Cubo Fred does go for the all-in on Shinto, but gets deleted by Julio and his cavalry charge, who's continuing to chase onto Vote. Vote speed's now down, as is he. As is the Phoenix. Only Nika and Dart is alive. Scrap that, it's just Nika left alive. An absolutely disappointing performance here in Game 1 from Warriors, and an absolutely amazing performance from Leviathans. Yeah. This is 15-0 in 20 minutes. These guys are here to play this weekend. They took it to the earlier team of the Dragons this week, and today, well, the Warriors need to wake up quick, because I don't think Leviathans are going to give them longer than 20 minutes in Game 2 again.
That might actually be the closest to a perfect
A little bit
game
better
of
with
Smite.
some extra power.
Well, Atlantis Leviathans, they absolutely swing here in game number 1, so the momentum swing is going to have to be twofold from the Oni Warriors. They have a good draft. I agree with you there, Mifflin. The ability to kind of springboard back into this game, I don't think can be understated. You got a Fafnir there to provide a coerce to the Jingwei. By the time the late game rolls around, the Jingwei stim plus a coerce is going to be hitting pretty hard. We'll see if the Oni Warriors can capitalize on the draft that they have built. Leviathans Warriors Game 2 right now.
Thanks so much, Dave. And honestly, if you're a fan at home, you're just hoping the Warriors get out of the early game, if anything, without Game 1 when here. Let's have a look into Game 2, though. And let's be honest, Gore, looking at this one, we've got a bit more safety in the jungle and the mid lane for Warriors too. Discordia and Kali will have a bit more
Goes
survival.
on par in my mind with the Kali.
I tell you, if he would have caught that with that 3 there, it would have been a bit of trouble for Darkness. Probably cost him his beads, but already poke damage early on. Backside, the green buff getting taken down by Cuvo. Is now Nika might be able to get a solo kill here. Julio's in a bit of trouble, but there is a whole Archer wave whacking on the back of Nika too. But Julio just trying to back away, gets soloed down by Nika. King Arthur versus the Tier.
You want to have an absolute mirror, I guess? Well, maybe not mirror. What's the opposite of that? I was actually curious. I had this thought last game when I see that green buff. And I think Wrong Yu answers it perfectly here, which is that idea of, man, now that supports have their own buff, who's going to take the stolen ones away? And the answer is, I'm taking a red every
Blink
single
in from
chance.
Julio as Cuvo tried to leap away, clammeted into the wall there, and Palitom's there with the CC follow-up too. Nika, though, gets a ton of damage off, and Palitom has no escape now because of that, and Nika's going to get body blocked by Julio. Great work out of the solo lane from Leviathans. Palitom's a bit greedy. Oh, I'm just watching, I'm not going to say anything. I was like, is he really going to tempt fate with that one? Those protections with the stacks. Purple invaded again, though, by Leviathans, and focus on Neil, but a great wraparound from Neil. 180 hammer puts Palitom on the back foot for a second. The chase still on, though, on Palitom, and he did have the Sonic Boom available to escape. Vote still chasing the Wrong Yu under pressure. He could be the casualty here, as now the Leviathans bit off more than can chew. Damage out from Dardes with the apple onto Yarkor, as Yarkor didn't realize he was going to get turned on by Dardes. Great target selection from him. Meanwhile, though, you see Shinto getting in the fray. He's already picked up 1. Make that 2 on a turnaround. 2 for 2 as the dual lane of Leviathans die. Shinto makes sure it goes back answered.
And the only reason Hardcore turns around there to begin with is because Shinto's making the rotation over.
Look at this, Warriors grouping up a Gold Fury, and because of Neilmar's transformation in front of Wrong Yu, Leviathans know this, but they might have found a good window here, Warriors, to actually take away this Gold Fury. Nika zones away Yarkov from the fight. They destroy Wrong Yu, but the reinforcements are on the way. Paniton with the Sonic Boom charge, looking for the shot. Will find it, but it won't be enough for the Gold Furies. Warriors will secure. Left-hand side now, you're trying to see Paniton exit. Yarkov going to give him some coverage too, but the damage already done in favor of the Warriors there, who catch Leviathans with the pants down.
And now you're looking at a spot where maybe you could have fought Cubo, Fred. No, there's 5 members of the Warriors nearby. You get out of there. Panatom's too low. In fact, Nika might look for a gank.
Yeah, they're going to do the wraparound, but Vote's very deep in lane, so this is all on Cubo and Nika on their own. But Nika is level 15, very tanky. You can just see how many pips of health bar he's got to continue spinning to win. Bad news is he drops aggro to Cubo Fred as Neil Marr comes in. Vote finally gets up the lane too. This is a long old dive on Yorkor, who's buying a lot of time. The rest of his team not really in a position to do anything about it. Panitom already dead. And obviously Wrong Yu coming back from base. Meanwhile, it's only really died at the tail end of that. So Warriors now actually battled back well in this game. They've started to find a couple of windows now where Leviathans haven't been aware of these rotations. Dardes, though, versus Shinto. And Shinto just read that very well to collapse all in, realizing he had the time to go in the ultimate. And obviously those Taiko drums, well, he's CC immunity in that, so the apple won't bother him too much.
And he's got 3 levels on Cubo. Just one tick of that ult did so much damage. I want to see Shinto maybe get aggressive here, especially with Julio going for this long wraparound.
And Vote under pressure again, trapped inside. Will dash away from that, but Panitom's still following up. Neilmar there to support, but Neil can't do a whole lot. Panitom took a ton of damage from Vote, more like, though, and make sure that Panitom is out of the fight. Julio cleans up Vote and walks away alongside the rest of his 3-man squad back to the red buff, where Yarkor is taking it down.
This Mercury pick hasn't really been anyone outside of the Dragon, and so far, it hasn't really
now for
been
an engage from somewhere from this Mercury. As Panitom sneaks up this left-hand side, it looks like, trying to get closer to Vote and catch him on the lazy back. The back gets caught right in time of range, and the full combo connects. The dash is good, but the major look was better. Wasn't even needed, though, because Yarkor threaded that basic. And Wrong You, meanwhile, says, how you doing, Warriors? You are not coming in the south of the jungle while my boys are busy giving Vote a hiding.
I'll zone for you if I have
really
to.
got on the Oni Warriors side. I mean,
Yeah,
you're looking at a blink from Nika. You're looking from a Cuvo initiation. You don't really want your Carly initiate if you can help it. And then last but not least, I guess you're looking at a hammer from Neilmar. And that's really your options for the most part. At the Pyromancer, though, Neilmar is trying to dissuade the Pyromancers from doing so. Nika juggles Shinto into the egg, gets the beads out of him. And Nika's going to slow down Yarkor in the front. Rest of the Warriors are now on their way. Vote last to arrive. Neil at half health, though, as Dardes comes on in. Pyro now pulled by the Warriors as they look for it for themselves. Meanwhile, the Leviathans have not given up yet. They're coming back in force. A little bit late for Panitom coming in. This could be the secure and will be of the Pyromancer to the Warriors, who play that very well. Full credit to Nika, but a blink from Wrong You gets the beads out of Cubo, traps Nika in a wall situation, and the rest of the Leviathans are on the way, but Nika is just so tanky.
I mean, you just need so much more. He goes up into the air with
Sonic
Hardcore,
Boom.
but they just don't have anything to burn him down.
Sonic Boom came through from Panitom, didn't find a target properly as
Cubo.
Vote now walks in two. Dardes and Vote sat in the back trying to live, but the following shot from Yarkor, the Master's will. Panitom went in, went to punch Dardes and Vote secure the kill. Julio next on the list to die as Vote Jingwei ults in, but it won't be enough. Meanwhile in the back, Shinto still trying to get the kill on Dardes, and will do so. He was left alone, got through the whole backline towards Dardes, and this could be an interesting 1v1, but Vote sustain will come into play a little bit there, and the autos are weaved. 3 for 3 though. Warriors advantage because their Hunter is alive.
Really fast if the Warriors give you an opportunity.
Fire giant pulled by the Warriors. Julio walking in, Wrong You alongside him, and Nika frozen into a wall again. I've said that a few times, but the damage onto Nika starting to hurt a little bit more than when he does get connected with stuff. Dardes, though, giving some return as Neilmar jumps in. Shinto's Thunder Crash down, and Cubo wrapping around the back on the right-hand side. Can Cubo get to the carries in the back line? Looking at Yarkor or Shinto, more importantly. Aegis now used. Sonic Boom used by Panitom, but the Sonic Boom didn't find a target at all. Cubo Fred, though, did finally take down Shinto. Wrong You trying to help out Yarkor up against Nika as Cubo chases for another kill. Julio's frontlining antics are coming to an end, though, as he tries to fall back to a tier 2, but the hammer over the wall from Neilmar may have spelt his demise. Luckily enough, Wrong You was there, and the chase was over. Warriors find 1 kill, by the way, and now they're going to go back towards this FG. This is how close Game 2's been in terms of these picks and bans and compositions.
Panitom was able to back. He has full health, technically able to get in, but no ult, so he's going to have to do it the old-fashioned way. It's the hard call of, do you actually want to commit to that? He would have died for that FG.
And I think the hardest thing we're seeing in this game, and it's one thing that probably a lot of the streamers who are watching this and following mid lane and take the pressure of the tier 2 tower. Q on the left, Nika on the right, trying to isolate the Leviathans who are turtling under this tier 2 tower as they pressure the dive carries the backside, and it's Dardes under a lot of pressure. Shinto gets the kill, Sorso Vote gets pressured by Panitom, and now Vote could end up dying there too. Neilmar has to deal with Yarkor, Shinto, and Wrong You in his face, and he's going to fall down too. That was a fire giant composition of the Oni Warriors getting aggressive, and Leviathans pulled the trigger in action before they could set up, and now Vote is on the run.
Panitom has been looking for this kill. Had to be cautious early on. Just walks over the board. Should know Vote's nearby. But doesn't know where he is exactly. And so Vote's going to be able to play that. But like you said, that was a fire giant that has just been turned on its head. And you're not looking to kill Nika anytime soon, but you just got a tier 2 of your own. You might even be able to get a Phoenix.
They're looking at it, you know. I wasn't sure if they would, but Wrong Use here. Panitom finally joins in Cubo Fred and Vote on defense here. Nika was trying to get back towards this defense too, but Julio's just causing him problems in doing so. As now Nika gets walled into the corner. Beautiful little wall from Wrong You there just to secure. But I think Shinto may have enough around this right-hand side, and so a tier 2 tower is taken away by Leviathans, opening up and exposing the right-hand side Phoenix. Neil Mar, though, on the front lines, does have that Magi's Cloak available this time, trying to provide himself a bit more survivability and sustain in these engagements. The Fire Giant was being done, I didn't even see it! Oh my goodness me! They snuck it away without the Warriors really knowing, or even the casters, to be honest. My apologies for that. And straight away, Warriors retreat back to their base. Room there for Yorko to throw in a basic and check his damage output onto this Phoenix.
I mean, that's such a great word placement in terms of where they're going to be able to catch Phantom, but he's going to go in soon.
Blink on Dardas, though, and Dardas is nearly dead already to Julio 1v1. The follow-up shot from Yorko comes through, and I believe he also hit him with that ultimate too. Panitom's short-range Sonic Boom will be used for a second as Cubo now into the pit, has to use his ultimate and his beads to continue the chase. But the wall from Wrong U will prevent Panitom's death. He will still fortune Neil Mar, though, with the tail end as Nika and Neil try to combine to get some kills. Double kill, though, for Shinto. Now Yorko gets the kill. The base is broken, and a crazy engage off the back of Julio secures the kills, secures the Phoenix, and secures the game. It took Leviathans 42 minutes to do what they did in 20 for game 1, but they will come out victorious.
Much stronger showing from the Warriors that time around.